All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. We're going to be working on the splits pose in today's class. This pose obviously is very demanding as you're splitting your legs apart, like extremely far. So we're going to work at it very deliberately, and we're going to work at it, let's say, incrementally and systematically, okay? It's going to be helpful if you have some props, primarily one block, one strap. That's going to be very helpful. But if you have other props like 2 blocks, bolster, or 2 blocks in a pile of blankets, grab all those, put them off to the side. And we're going to start on our backs today. All right, and now as you lie down though, make sure one of your blocks and a belt is really close by, so within arm's reach. All right, and before we do anything too demanding, just hug your knees in towards your chest and hold on to the knees or your shins. Close your eyes, take about a minute or so settling. So soften your jaw, soften your face. See if you can just say utilize or use the support of the floor, or softening into gravity as a way to just come into a slightly more relaxed state before we do anything very strong and demanding. Again, we're going to be working on, let's say, creating more range of motion through the front of your hips and front of thighs, as well as the back of your hips and backs of thighs. All right, now bring your feet all the way down. Grab your block, lift your hips, and place your block behind your pelvis, behind your hips, on the flattest setting, on the lowest setting of your block. Grab your belt, place it off to the right side of your mat, and squeeze your right knee in towards your chest. Now, grab onto your right knee and pull your knee in towards your chest even more. Now stretch your left leg up towards the roof. And not only that, when you stretch your left leg up to the roof, actually move your leg in towards your chest as well. And notice what starts to happen. So you start to get this perceived feeling as if you're pulling your legs in towards your chest more. But truly what's starting to happen is your lower back is actually starting to round. So it's starting to go in towards flexion, and your pelvis is actually starting to go into a more posterior tilt. So it's a coupled action there. Now keep your right knee into your chest as best you can. Go ahead and hold it in there as best you can. And then start to lower your left leg towards the floor. So now move the left leg away from your chest. Start to lower your left leg towards the floor, but hover your heel just above the floor. So don't let the left heel go all the way down. Now keep your right knee squeezing in, even though you're using your arms. Go ahead and pull on the right knee in towards your chest, and just hold here for a moment. So still float your left leg, your left heel off the floor. Pull your right knee in towards your chest, even muscularly, even though you're pulling with your hands. So muscularly pull that right knee in. Now just to test how much your muscles are holding your right knee in towards your chest, go ahead and let go of your right knee and notice how far it moves away from your chest. Reach your arms forward. For some, it may move a lot, and then others not so much. So I want you to actually use your muscles to hold your right knee in. Take another breath here. And then bend both knees, bring your feet down. Let's do the second side. Pull your left knee in. Hold on to your left knee. And then pull with your hands. Pull your knee in. Now, again, the block should literally just be under the back of the pelvis. So if it's cutting into your lower back, you gotta readjust your block. Move it a little bit closer to your tailbone or your buttocks. All right, now raise your right leg up to vertical, but then start to pull the right leg in towards your chest as well. All right, once you do that, you're going to be able to create this feeling as if you've grabbed a little more real estate on that left hip, but it's not true. It's actually just a spinal flexion that gives you that perceived movement. So now here, keep the left knee in and then start to lengthen. Lower your right leg away from the chest. Hover your right heel just off the floor. But do your best to hold on to that left knee where it's at. So left knee in. And still squeeze your left knee in towards your chest. So use the muscles as well as the arms to squeeze your left knee in. Hover your right heel just off the floor. Take some long, smooth, deep breaths here. Keep your jaw soft. Your eyes soft. Your neck soft. All right, bend both your knees, bring your feet down. Let's grab onto the belt. We'll use the belt for the next one. So make sure there's a pretty long belt as we're going to put the foot in the strap. So pull your right knee in, put the belt around your right foot, and extend your right leg up. All right. Let's just stay in this position to start. Now the belt, place it just underneath the balls of your toes. Actually, arch of foot is fine too. Arch of foot might be pretty good. Then you can push up evenly through the heel and the balls of your toes. All right, now bring your left leg up to that vertical position again. And again, move your left leg in towards your chest. Move your right leg in towards your chest more. So go ahead and grab a little bit more perceived real estate there. And keep the right leg where it's at. And then start to lower your left heel just above the floor. You might notice the demand on the back of your right leg is increasing as your left heel gets closer to the floor. So feel free to keep your left heel a little bit higher, a little bit lower, or even return to a bent left knee with the sole of your left foot on the floor. That's fine too. Whatever allows you to create the demand that you need, but also the relaxation that to meet that demand. Now bring your left foot all the way up into the belt, and we'll switch sides that way. All right, so take the right foot out, put the belt just around like the arch of your foot, and then pull both your legs in towards your chest. Notice that that's just more of a spinal flexion. Notice that that causes your lower back to round. And as you lower your right leg down, the lower back is going to start to arch a little bit more. It's going to start to pull into the body. So go ahead and lower your right heel just above the floor if you haven't done that already. Notice how that your lower back starts to pull into the body. It also lifts your chest up, so you start to back bend a little bit. The splits pose is if you look at it from like a profile point of view from the side, it's very much a back bended pose, believe it or not. So notice how when you start to take that right heel closer to the floor, that back bend increases. All right, bring your right leg all the way up into the belt again. Put both feet up into the belt. Just push up through your feet for a moment, back bend. Go ahead and pull your lower back in. And then let's bring the feet down. Remove the belt, remove the block, come all the way down. All right, let's come around to hands and knees and then up into down dog. So that's the splits pose, just done with a different orientation to gravity. Let's come into downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal your legs out so you can, let's say, create a little bit more fluid movement in the hips, but also the backs of your legs. So personally, I find it important to create a lot of let's say, fluid movement throughout the entire hip. Obviously, front and back of hip is the primary area that we need to create that movement, but I find it very helpful to create it in the entire circumference of the hip. Start to breathe Ujjayi Pranayama if you haven't already. All right, then take your gaze forward. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. Lower your back knee down. Step your right foot out to the right side of your mat. So it's basically the toes are off the mat, the heel is on the mat, so turn your foot out a little bit. And then lower down to your forearms if you can. Lowering down to your forearms is not a necessity for this. Some people call it lizard lunge. I'm just going to call it lizard lunge because most people do. Lowering down to your forearms is not a necessity. You could totally just keep your hands on the floor, bend your elbows, and lower your torso inside your right thigh. But here, instead of just dropping your hips down towards the floor, I want you to actually lift your hips a little bit by creating muscular engagement. Pull your feet in towards each other. Pull your legs in towards each other. So the heads of your thigh bones into their sockets. Go ahead and lift your chest up. And then step back to downward facing dog. Now bend your knees and lift your heels up. Lift your heels, then lift your sitting bones up, your tailbone up. All right, so pull your lower back in quite strongly. So like you're doing a back bend here. And then keep the sitting bones up. Lower your heels down and back. Push through your hands. All right, now your next exhale, step your left foot forward, lower your back knee down. Lizard lunge on the second side. So step your left foot out to left, Turn the foot out and then lower down to your forearms. Again, just because we're working with the pose that we're working with, the splits pose, I want you to draw your legs in towards one another. So pull your legs in towards one another, pull your feet towards each other, and feel that engagement of, let's say, right around the hip sockets. So right at the tops of your thighs, pulling in towards the pelvis, in towards the hips. All right, now bring your torso up as you inhale. Step on back to down dog as you exhale. Again, bend your knees, lift your heels, lift your sitting bones. Keep that back bend going on and then drive your heels down and back. So hold here, just feel that stretch in your hamstrings, the backs of your calves. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and bring your right leg forward into pigeon pose. So right knee behind your wrist. Now go into a forward bend. Bring your forearms down or bring your head all the way down. Your hips all the way down to something. So even though I'm having you release into gravity, I still want you to draw your legs in towards one another. So without the knees moving, pull the knees in towards each other. So from front to back, back to front, draw in. And I want you to find that quality of strength. So whenever it comes to the pose, the splits pose, I want you to use that strength to slowly allow your body to move more and more in the direction of the full splits. So I want that range of motion or that movement to be met with some amount of stability and strength. All right, lift your torso up as you inhale. Step back to down dog as you exhale. Now pull forward to plank pose, inhale. Pull back to down dog, exhale. So just working the front of the hips a little bit more. All right, plank pose, inhale, and getting your breath moving. Down dog, exhale. Again, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Let's do one more. Inhale. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, left knee forward, left leg forward, pigeon pose. Again, once you are all set up, just go into your forward bend or more of a forward bend. Lower your torso. But draw your knees lightly in towards each other. So create a little bit of tone, a little bit of strength around the whole hip region, the pelvic floor region, midsection region. Keep your jaw soft, your neck soft, your mind still somewhat soft. Just taking our time, but being real deliberate with what we're doing here. All right, then bring your torso up as you inhale. Step back to down dog, exhale. And then rock forward to plank pose, inhale. So another set of these. Downward face your dog, exhale. Plank pose. Down dog. Two more on your own breath. Downward face your dog. One more. Lift from your hips. This time, gaze forward. Clear your breath first. Step, walk, or jump to the top of your mat. Lift halfway up. Fold forward, exhale. Then stand up and reach up, inhale. Release your arms, exhale. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the videos I upload to this channel, hit the subscribe button as well as turn on the notification bell so you can stay up to date. If you want to get in touch with me, leave a comment in the comment section down below. I do read all of your comments, and I will sometimes base my video making decisions off of the comments I receive from you guys. So if you have any ideas about things you would like to see on this channel, please leave me a comment there and I'll see what I can do. All right, thanks again.